Alright, so there are no balls vending machines in this chapter. And I had a whole bit after ordering a few, but then I drank a couple. And I think the whole plot of the game has changed, or at least I changed it in my head. The aliens are now trying to find the source of all the balls in order to destroy it so no one else will drink it. And everyone on the station is just a mercy kill because it seems to be the only thing to drink outside of the invisible hooch Nick and Dag shared in the prologue.
If you can stand Jackson Trap Ale.
Anyways, the chapter starts with Nick making a station log expressing sorrow for Sam being taken. Craig comes up to him and asks him about her, and again, Nick is a bit of a dick.
Anything? Do you think I'd be sitting here looking at static if I knew where she was?
The worst part is Dr. Mech calls him on the comms and expresses the same thing, and he's not a dick to her. I suppose he could be blaming Craig for not helping, but he is unarmed and just a minor. Also, Dr. Mech has analyzed the fleshy growth, and there's DNA of all the alien races that were on the station, and the fungus virus thing that's growing all over the place. Honestly, it's a bit of a no shit Sherlock moment for Dr. Mech, because we've seen the bodies hanging all over the place. So it's kind of obvious what is happening to all the bodies, but I guess they had to explain it to people who could not put two and two together. There's also a message from Sam on her desk, hammering home how much Nick is devastated by Sam being abducted. With that, Craig wants to go with Nick to the refinery in order to capture one of the four armed aliens dubbed an amalgamator. One problem is the refinery was never mentioned till this point in time in the dialogue, and I kind of have to wonder if something was cut out. I mean, nothing really happens at this point, there's just some walking till they get to a control room, where Nick calls Dag, and Dag just so happens to be in the refinery getting his stash of heavy weapons. With Dag apologizing to Nick about Sam, and Nick turning into a big old dick again.
I talked to Dr. Mech. She told me about Samantha. I'm sorry.
Just stop. I don't want any more pity. She's alive, and I'll find her.
So, in order to get to the refinery, they need to travel down the pipes that have water in them for the refinery, and they need to drain it, but when they get into the room, everything's covered in the alien fleshy fungus goo. And during the cutscene, a new alien jumps on the window. You'll never see this thing again, or even shoot at it. There is one weird bit that did happen when I was in this room looking for a way to open the hatch to climb down the pipes. And that's when the ambient sound just cut off completely. I'll just play it to show you. So after finding a rusty cog that allowed me to open up a hatch after the water's been drained, that I just found randomly, the game loads into the refinery. Again, not much happens here. It's just a bunch of walking. Then you come across another miner just sitting with his legs off a catwalk with a big huge pillar of flesh behind him. It's a very obvious setup, and you can see in a wide angle that there's no cutter behind him, and then suddenly there's a cutter behind him, and he gets stabbed from behind and then cut in half. Oddly enough, Nick was not a dick to Craig at this point because it was one of Craig's friends, and actually said he was sorry to Craig about his friend.
Craig, I'm sorry about your friend.
It's hard.
While traversing further down into the catwalks via elevator and ladders, the pair come across an amalgamator who calls off a cutter for reasons that are unexplained. And again, nothing really happens. Except for one ambush towards the end, where Craig just sort of awkwardly watches as Nick fights his way through all the aliens. And I did get Nick injured here, and I force him to drink a few Bawls energy drinks to heal him. I'm sorry, Nick. After that, they just reach the refinery control room, and Dag lets Nick know that he is trapped by a brute because he went off by himself in order to find his stash. I mean, a lot actually doesn't happen with this. It's just going up and down lifts and ladders, and maybe occasionally shooting a scout. So while going towards Dag now, you come across another amalgamator, and more rock music starts to play, but it's very short-lived. I'm not even sure why they bothered. It's like the fight was supposed to be longer than what it was, but it only lasted a couple of seconds. So some of the music choices and encounters they have in this game are a bit odd and inconsistent at times. And Nick also finds a liquid nitrogen gun somewhere along the way. It serves no purpose at this point, but you have it. After getting to the floor above the brute and finding a improvised explosive along the way, Nick activates another discount Johnny 5 and hands it the explosive to go blow itself up with the brute. Luckily, they're not sentient in any capacity like Johnny 5. I do find it odd how explosives work on their brutes when they need them to. The brute in the prologue had some of the thickest plot armor ever.
Emergency hull breach. Activating Protocol 33A.
With the brute gone, Nick goes to get Dag, and he manages to not shoot Nick again. Don't worry, I won't use that joke again. I'm just going to let Dag do the talking at this point.
Bastards out there.
It wasn't easy. This better be worth it. What do we have?
Not much. Just some ammo, grenades. Oh, but there was this. My people are always prepared. When I heard a Natlock was coming aboard, I stocked up. Who knew I'd end up being allies with her?
Trust me, I'm not complaining.
The two of them then set off to bag an amalgamator. But before you leave the room, Dag lets Nick know about a weapon in his quarters that he named the Bolt Thrower. Not called Bolt Thrower, named the Bolt Thrower. While walking to find an amalgamator, Dag is hit by a new alien with an even bigger gun, but just shrugs it off. And the pair head up a floor and find a amalgamator, and it's quickly frozen by the liquid nitrogen gun. And unfortunately, considering how effective it is, you really don't get to keep it, which kind of sucks. They then stuff it in an elevator and hope it survives the vacuum of space, which is never explained how they survive out in space, but they just do. After that, they meet up with Craig, who's still in the refinery control room, and they tell him he has to stay here and watch over the machinery, even though he's unarmed and not a soldier in any capacity. While they head back up, Dag is hit again in an ambush, and this time he's not shrugging it off. He is injured gravely, and he says he will stay and cover Nick.
It was a goddamn ambush. We need to run for it.
No, you need to run for it.
There's no way I'm leaving you.
Look at me, human. Go. I'll cover you.
May Agent Shaw greet you, my friend.
As will he you when your time comes. Then we'll sit around this table and drink to our lives. Now go.
Except for when you get to control Nick, he's not doing any covering whatsoever. Just another disconnect between the cutscenes and the actual gameplay there. After escaping the ambush, another cutscene plays with Dag shooting at all the aliens till he runs out of ammo. Honestly, I want to know who animated some of these scenes because they did the writers dirty. Here you can see nothing behind Dag as he runs out of ammo, but one of the aliens with the big huge fleshy guns comes up behind him out of nowhere and points its fleshy giant gun at his head. I would make a joke, but I think I'm pushing it with the Bawls drink as is. Dag then goes out with a bang by pulling out a grenade and blowing himself up with all the aliens as well as the refinery, which raises some questions. Like, does Craig still need to stay and watch the machinery? Did Craig die? Because that was one hell of an explosive. To be honest, I'm 100% sure they forgot about Craig till much later in the game. Anyways, that's it for the chapter. It's kind of short, and outside of Dag going out with a bang, not much happens. Anyways, if you made it this far, thanks for watching.